Hey there everyone, it's Nina Marie. Thanks for joining me today for another video. Today I'm going to be using the Always There collection from Simon Says Stamp. It's a brand new release full of beautiful things from wonderful shape dies to lovely stamps. Lots of different floral pieces. If you love flowers, there's a lot of good ones in this release. Butterflies, embossing folders that have stencils, and so much more. So lots of things to see in the collection, and in today's video I'm going to be using one of the new stamp sets called Heirloom Roses. But before I dive into the project, I also want to mention that I am participating in the Simon Says Stamp Always There release blog hop, and there is a free gift available with the blog hop going on right now. It's good through Sunday or while supplies last. When you're purchasing anything from the Always There collection, the Hot Mess 3x4 stamp set will be automatically added to your cart. It's a really cute set. It was designed by Kathy Zilski and a really fun little dumpster fire, and then some great greetings to go with. As I alluded to, I'm going to be using the Heirloom Roses stamp set, and even though this is a layering stamp set and sometimes those can be intimidating, this stamp set is actually very easy to use. The images line up really simply and there aren't very many layers, so you can achieve this wonderful detailed rose in no time at all. I'm also going to be sharing my trick that I love to use when I'm trying to create multiples of a stamped layered image. So let's dive on in and check out the stamp set. It's a 6x8 set, and all of the pieces are marked so that you know which elements go where. There's also on the back of the card that comes with the stamp set a little guide that shows you which images line up to form the picture. Oscar is going to be part of this video quite a bit today. Right now he's sitting on my desk with his tail twitching because he saw lots of birds outside. Now, I also have some templates that I've made off camera and I've actually already used. I've made some florals already, but when I was die cutting my flowers, I saved my leftovers so that I could use these as a negative template for placing my stamps and die cut pieces. So we're going to be die cutting first, then stamping, so that we can use the outline of this template as a guide for helping place our stamps. This is especially helpful for the initial phase of putting the stamps down. Okay, so I want to show you how these flowers look once they stamp out, and I'm going to show you which colors I've used. So I used the new Ballerina, Fairy, and Plum ink cubes to get the color scheme that I have for these flowers. And ink cubes really do work best for this technique. And then I'm also going to use the Kale, Artichoke, and Cabbage ink cube collection that is a really great green color, and it paired perfectly with these. Now in the ink cube set that the pinks come with, it also came with these purples. These beautiful bluish purples are so pretty. I love these colors. I've used them in the full-size pads quite a bit, but now they're available in cubes, and these two look fantastic when you stamp them with the roses. So I just wanted to show you that these roses don't have to be the classic pink or red. They can be any color you want. I saw a lot of examples in Heidi's live over on the Simon Says Stamp YouTube channel where she was showing samples from other artists, and some of them used yellow and like coral colors. Really beautiful stuff. So check out that live stream if you haven't already. I'm going to work on die cutting all my pieces, so I'm going to use all three flowers and both leaves. We're going to die cut quite a few of each. This way I can make multiple flowers, not just for my arrangement, but then I also have some extras left over that I could save for another project too. I always like having extras because you never know when you might need something. So I'm die cutting about 3, maybe 2 for I think the large flower only did 2, but I'm die cutting most of the elements 3 times to have a nice assortment for my arrangement. We're going to be building a beautiful framing around our cards, so I need to have quite a few for that layering. Now I have all my pieces ready to go. All my die cuts are in a little dish here. I have my template inside of my mini MISTI tool, and we're working on matching up the pieces to the negative areas and puzzle piecing them into place. So that way, when we go to line up our stamps, I can then not only stamp the pieces that I have in my MISTI right now, but then I can take the pieces out and stamp on all the other pieces as well while those stamps are still in place. So it's a really great trick. We're going to start with layer 1 for all of the images. So I'm just going to go find through the stamp set here all the A1, C1, B1, etc. pieces and start lining up these number 1 elements into my MISTI. So all of these are lining up over top of my die cut pieces, and I'm using the outer edge of the negative to help me figure out the placement. So that way I know that these are lined up fairly center within my die cuts. To start with the flowers, I'm going to use Ballerina. It's the lightest of the colors that I'm using here. So whichever color combination you're using, just make sure to start with your lightest color. And you're going to ink up your flowers. I'm also going to ink up the leaves, but I'll do that separately. I'm going to stamp my flowers onto my little die cut pieces. And as I'm stamping, I'm actually trying to press this onto the paper and give it a chance to really soak in. I find that I get a nice smooth impression that way if I give the ink a chance to soak into the paper. And then, like I said, you're going to want to do the same thing with your greens. Now, the greens only have 2 layers. So you have a base leaf and then a detail piece that goes over top. So you can actually use a mid-tone if you want to make your leaves darker. And I'm actually going to do that for some of my leaves. But for now, I started with my lightest. I'm pulling out all my pieces now, and I have left my stamps in place. I haven't moved the stamps. I haven't moved this template. Only thing I did was take out the die cuts that I already stamped on. I'm going to set those aside, and I'm going to grab clean die cuts and place them into the template. And now we're going to go through and do that all over again. So we're going to ink up our flowers again with the Ballerina, and then I'm also going to use again the lighter green to stamp the cabbage on my leaves, and that's going to give me another set of flowers stamped with the first layer. I'll remove the die cuts once again, and I can replace them with more die cuts. Now in this case, I wanted to stamp more green leaves, and I want them to be darker. So instead of using cabbage as my lightest, I'm actually going to work with artichoke as the lightest color, and that's more of a mid-tone green, but that's going to give me a chance to have some variation in my leaf colors. I also stamped a few more of those smaller roses, again in the Ballerina. So now that I have a bunch of pieces stamped with layer 1, we're going to move on to layer 2. And these flowers have specific areas that line up 100% perfectly with each other. In this case, it's this little opening of the rose. That's a really great guide for finding where this lines up. The smaller rose, that lines up with the bottom of your first initial stamping. And same with the second layer of your rose. The bottom area of the second stamping lines up with the bottom area of your first stamping. For the leaves, these little detailed pieces just kind of line up in the middle, so they're really simple to assemble. I'm using the darkest green to stamp onto my leaves here. This is for the mid-tone color that I had already used. This is going to give a really nice contrast. And then for the mid-tone of my flowers, I'm using Fairy, which is the middle color of the colors that I chose for the pinks. Look at how beautiful these are. Now, I do want to call out the middle flower that I stamped. I actually grabbed the first layer. I stamped the first layer twice. I'm like, what am I doing? So that one was a dud. I had to throw that out. Oscar now needs to come over and supervise because I'm obviously doing a terrible job here. I need to remove my stamp from the MISTI and realign my little rose for layer 2 properly onto my MISTI and restamp. So I did lose one of my die cuts here. And Oscar is now pleased with the fact that I have this right. He's going to come by and inspect. Yep, he says it looks good. So now I have all of my roses stamped, and I can move on to stamping another round. So I like using dishes to help kind of corral my pieces that are done, so I know that those are complete and I can set those aside. I'm going to bring in more of my die cuts and stamp additional second layers over top, now that I have all of my proper stamps in here. You got to pay attention when you're stamping. You got to make sure you grab the right thing. I obviously was distracted, probably because Oscar was doing something and I was keeping an eye on what he was getting into. So now I'm going to work on stamping layer 3. For the largest rose, I kind of like lining up this bottom area here with the bottom area of that larger rose. So that just kind of puzzle pieces into place. And then again, for the smallest rose, that bottom area lines up with the bottom area we've already been lining up on all the other ones. So really, like I said, this is very simple to line up. These are not complicated stamps to try to figure out where they go. Now for the layers on the rose, this third layer, I'm going to use the darkest ink, and I did stamp it twice because I really wanted to intensify that impression. Look at this charming little dish of flowers and leaves. Isn't it pretty? The color combination I really like on this set. Since I still had my stamps out and my Misty, I decided I would stamp my sentiment too. So I'm going to use Thinking of You. And this eggplant cardstock from Simon Says Stamp, it's a sleeper. I have not used this a ton. And now that I've used it on this card, I've been using it so much more. I love this color. It's so deep and rich and beautiful. I kind of forgot I had it in my stash. And so I'm really excited I popped it out and used it on this card. I'm going to stamp the sentiment with embossing ink and then use my heat tool to set the white embossing powder over top. That looks really pretty and striking. I'm going to use the coordinating dies, which are super detailed, and use them to cut out the sentiment so I get that really wonderful detailed die cutting in between the letters. It's so beautiful, something you can't do with scissors, and that's going to give me this really nice greeting. I'm going to die cut it a second time so that I can stack a plain die cut behind my stamped sentiment. So that way it gives a little bit more stability to this piece because it's going to get suspended between the flowers. So I want to make sure that it has the ability to stand up to a little bit of that suspension. Here we go with our arrangement. So I'm using mostly foam squares to attach all these pieces. The flowers are what's going to get popped up, and then the leaves I'm gluing directly to the card, either by letting them get stuck to the back of the foam square before I stick it onto the card, or I use liquid glue. So as I'm arranging, I'm just trying to be strategic with my placement of the adhesive so that I can kind of sandwich those little leaves underneath the adhesive as I press the flowers down. If I have any areas that I need to add a little bit of liquid glue, I could come in and add some of that too to help secure things. But the foam squares really do hold the leaves in place, and what's kind of nice about the fact that the leaves aren't perfectly adhered down fully is that it does kind of allow them to lift off the paper a little bit naturally. So it does feel somewhat dimensional without having to add any extra bulk to the card. I'm trying to form an arrangement on the corners of this card, but I'm not making it perfectly centered on the corners. I don't want this to feel like matchy-matchy. I want it to feel more organic, so that's why I'm trying to just kind of have a rough guide in the corners for the placement and then just kind of let things cascade from there. This is going to frame up a butterfly in the end, and I'm really excited with how that's going to look. Now that I have all my pieces arranged, you'll notice I have them hanging off the sides. Those need to get cleaned up, so I'm just taking my scissors to chop things down. This card panel is a tad smaller than an A2 card, so it's 5 1/4 by 4 inches, so just a little bit smaller. That'll give a nice framing then around some purple cardstock that will add to the card base. Okay, see this brush? I'm going to bring in this Pink Fresh 1-inch brush. It's super soft. It's like a fan. It is perfect for soft blends. And I'm going to blend onto the exposed white areas of my cardstock, but I'm also going to let that ink just kind of softly blend over some of the leaves as well, just to kind of add a little bit of shading to the pieces. It's very subtle. It's very small amounts of ink, but it's just enough to add a little bit of shading to those pieces, letting the die cuts kind of fade into the background. Normally I would blend first and then put my die cuts on top, but I wanted to try this and I really loved the effect. And this fan brush really allowed that blending to go so well. All right, so now you can't have a project without some splatter, in my opinion. I love adding splatter, and this silver splatter medium from Simon Says Stamp is one that I reach for often. So I'm going to use this to splatter over my pieces. It allows the background to have some interest without having to do any stenciling or stamping or anything like that. It's very subtle, but yet it also adds a little bit of sparkle and shine too, which I always am in favor of. I glued that eggplant cardstock onto a white card base, and then I'm attaching the floral background onto the card with some foam tape, just so that way it has a little bit of lift off the background. The Thinking of You, this is where I said it was going to get suspended across the two groupings, so I glued that directly to those flowers, and now it's time to add some butterflies. These cuties are brand new die cuts from the Simon Says Stamp Always There collection. The Dewpierce mini butterflies, those cut out as one big die, and then you get all those little butterfly confetti pieces, which is great for scattering. And then the Dewpierce butterfly itself, the larger one, This is a 3-piece die set. I'm going to die cut the wings of the butterfly first from white cardstock because I plan on ink blending those. And then the body I cut from some silver. So I have all my pieces die cut. I'm going to set the little mini ones aside and we're going to work on coloring our larger butterfly. I brought in Fairy, which is one of the pinks we used for our stamping. And I'm going to use that to color in the wings of the butterfly, focusing most of that ink in the center of the wings and then letting it fade out to a very soft, almost white. I'll do that for both parts of the butterfly. The little tiny guy, he's pretty small, but just a really tiny blending brush is all you need to help you get a little bit of color onto these die cuts. So I'm using the detail blending brushes from Simon Says Stamp to help me get that color down. Using a tiny bit of liquid glue, I'll just adhere the 2 wing pieces together and then run a line of glue down the center so I can put that body on top. The body is cut from some matte silver cardstock, which adds a beautiful shine and pairs perfectly with that beautiful silver splatter that we added already. I glued the butterfly just using a little bit of glue in the middle of the butterfly itself so that the wings have some natural lift off of the card. And I'm going to try to do the same thing for these little teeny tiny mini butterflies. I'm just putting a dot of glue into the middle of their body. Not that they really have a body, it's mostly just wings, but into the center of these little guys and just laying the piece on top of the card, letting the edges of the wings kind of lift off. I give them a little bit of a fold too, so that way it helps add to that natural feel of it fluttering off of the card. And these add a lot of contrast on top of all the pinks. Really ties in the purple that we used here. And then check out how lovely this card is with all of the sparkle and shine from the silver splatter medium to the detail of those roses. The roses look lifelike. They're so pretty. I really love how this stamp set looks as a finished card. So many ways you can use it too. Lots of great greetings in this stamp set. I had the pleasure of working with my mom, Anne-Marie Trapani, in developing this set. She illustrated the pieces here, and I gave some feedback on what I thought would be a fun way for it to assemble and all that kind of stuff. But she was the artist. She drew it. She created such lovely work here with these flowers. You can check out my mom's work over on Instagram. She shares projects that she makes with her stamp sets over on Instagram, so you can check that out. It's Anne-Marie Trapani Art, and I'll link to her in my YouTube description so you can find her. And actually, a fun story with this, I took this stamp set with me up to Maine to visit her a few weeks ago, just after Mother's Day, and we were doing some stamping in her kitchen with this stamp set, and we had so much fun playing with color combinations and stuff. She did a beautiful dark blue color scheme with hers. I really loved that. And then we really enjoyed playing with these pinks too because they're so pretty. Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing this card come together because there's lots of ways that you can use this lovely rose set, not just as a corner arrangement like I did, but you could also use them as your focal point right in the middle of a card. They make such lovely additions to your stamped projects, and they're so easy to assemble. And then all the other pieces that I used, like I mentioned, everything's from the Always There collection from Simon Says Stamp, which is brand new. And it's so exciting that we're celebrating this collection right now with the blog hops. So if you go over to my blog, you'll be able to get more information about the blog hop and see all the other participants who are sharing projects today using the Always There collection. Blog hops are such a fun way to get ideas, so I hope you'll check it out. Thanks so much for tuning in today, friends. I am so excited to have shared this card with you, and I'll be back very soon with more. So stay tuned, and I'll see you again in the next video.